Status has always pushed the limits with their triple driver earbuds, but there are always a few things that they kept getting wrong. But now with the Pro X, let's find out if they actually fixed them. What's up, friends? I'm Brian MacDuff, aka BMac, and welcome to another video. Today we are gonna be checking out the Status Pro X, earbuds that Status claims, and I quote, are smaller, sharper, smarter, and built directly from user feedback and engineered to outperform. But did Status finally get right with the Pro X what they kept getting wrong in the past? That's what we're gonna discuss. First things first, I do need to give a huge thank you and a shout out to Status for actually sending out a pair, the Pro X, for me to be able to check out. But with all that having been said, let's start things out by talking about the new design of the Status Pro X earbuds and whether or not this new redesign actually solves any of those issues that past Status earbuds have had. There's no denying that the Pro X are a rather unique looking pair of earbuds. They have a sort of flattened rectangular cutoff stem setup here with control buttons on top, plus touch controls on the side and a chrome accent here on the bottom that does provide a little flash of luxuriousness without it being over the top. And these definitely do feel a lot more like a normal pair of earbuds now, and a lot of that has to do with their 21% smaller size from the between 3 ANC, and this does make their unique design slightly less noticeable and much more like what you would expect out of an ordinary pair of earbuds. You are getting 3 different pairs of silicone ear tips to choose from, which is gonna help customize the earbuds to your particular ear shape and size for a more comfortable and customized fit. And overall, the build quality feels very solid, and they are definitely a lot more comfortable to wear because they fit, I feel, a lot more ergonomically when you're wearing them because of their new flush design. And the flip top charging case is also a little smaller this time around, 11% smaller to be exact, from between 3 ANC charging case, which does make it a little bit more portable, and at the same time, it still does have a very strong hinge and a very nice solid magnetic clasping system, which gives it a nice build quality feel. But the real difference maker that has always set the Status earbuds apart is of course their hybrid triple driver setup. Some earbuds only have 1 driver, some have 2, but the recent Status earbuds have always had 3 drivers. And more specifically, what that means in the Pro X is a larger 12mm dynamic driver for your low end, and then 2 Knowles balanced armature drivers for your mids and your highs. Now, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, you do get track controls on the Pro X, which is gonna consist of both those physical buttons on top of the earbud itself and those touch controls on the sides. As it relates to the physical controls on top of these earbuds, those cannot be customized at this time, but they still do give you the ability of toggling between ANC or transparency mode, along with invoking your voice assistant, or if you actually press and hold them, you could actually invoke a manual shutdown. And then you are also getting an IP55 dust and water resistance rating here with a black alloy color to top all this off. But ultimately, at this point in the review, this is where connectivity becomes a huge deal because Status did finally add some things here that their previous earbuds were completely lacking. For starters, Status did upgrade the brains of the Pro X with a Bluetooth 5.3 chipset for what I've experienced to be strong and stable connections even over long distances. Plus now, hallelujah, you are now also getting a high-res wireless audio certification through the implementation of the LDAC audio codec. This is a huge deal for me because LDAC was one of those key missing features on past Status earbuds, which for me can make a pretty perceivable positive difference when I'm listening to music with these earbuds in my ears. You still do get support, of course, for the SBC and AAC audio codecs if you're on an iPhone, but for my Android users out there, or if you're on a device that supports LDAC, you're gonna love the Pro X, especially now that they deliver that LDAC audio listening experience. I also do wanna quickly point out here that you do get future-proof support for Bluetooth LE audio with LC3 and Auracast, which I understand will be delivered as a firmware update. I don't think I got that yet. I tried to get LE audio to show up and it didn't, so it appears I didn't get that firmware update yet, but these are future-proof to deliver that. Now, for my spatial audio lovers out there, do keep in mind that you are not getting any kind of spatial audio support on the Pro X. That's of very little concern to me because I'm rarely, if ever, actually listening to music in spatial audio when I have earbuds in. But if you love spatial audio, no support for that on the Pro X, just keep that in mind. You do, however, get multi-point connectivity, so you can actually connect your Pro X to 2 different devices at once to seamlessly and easily switch between those 2 devices. There is also in-ear detection built into these, although I will be honest and say that it seems a little finicky. It seems to only work consistently some of the time, so I don't know what's going on there. Not a huge deal, but still something that you would want to, and something that should work, not just some of the time, but all the time. Now, you are definitely gonna wanna install the Status Hub companion app, because that's gonna completely unlock what the Status Pro X earbuds are completely capable of. It's available on Android or iOS, and that's also how you'll actually be able to take advantage of the tracking features of the Pro X. The way this works is that the location of your Pro X earbuds is actually saved whenever they disconnect from your connected smartphone, so that you might be able to see them on a map if you ever misplaced them or left them behind. Speaking of tracking, if you happen to ever misplace your earbuds in your house, for instance, maybe they fell behind the couch, if you ever have to track them down, you could do so via sound from the Status Hub app, at which point you could emit a loud sound from them. And then, goes without saying, obviously, within the Status Hub app is also where you're gonna be able to have any firmware updates for the Pro X moving forward. But now for probably the biggest category of all, sound quality. Because this is where we need to find out if any of the upgraded tech finally unlocks what the triple driver setup in these bad boys is actually capable of. Well, with 3 different drivers, each one dedicated to a third of the EQ spectrum, with that triple driver setup, you'd probably expect pretty expansive, immersive, and clearly separated sound from the Pro X, with detail and clarity throughout the entire EQ spectrum. So is that what you get with these earbuds? Yes. Absolutely. There is no denying that the hybrid triple driver setup in these earbuds is undoubtedly benefiting the listening experience of these earbuds, no matter what music genre you're listening to. Right out of the box, you are getting clear frequency representation across the entire spectrum, right from the sub bass all the way through the highest of the highs. And I really can't detect any kind of compression or muddiness going on anywhere. Now, granted, all my testing was done using the LDAC audio codec on my Pixel 10 Pro XL, and I do think that LDAC codec makes a big difference here, since the overall sound quality just didn't quite shine as much as it did on my Pixel when I connected it to my iPhone with AAC. So I do recommend listening over LDAC. You are gonna probably hear a difference. Now, you are provided with 5 different EQ presets that you could use right away, right from within that Status Hub companion app, with those presets consisting of Status Signature, Status Audiophile, Knowles Preferred, Podcast and UGC, or Vocal Enhance EQ presets. And I personally found the Knowles Preferred EQ preset, in my personal opinion, to sound the best for my listening preferences. Having said all that, however, I did also find myself making my own custom EQ presets, which you could do within that Status Hub companion app with a custom 8-band graphic equalizer. Built into the Pro X is active noise cancellation that's capable of over 52 decibels of noise reduction, which is a pretty solid step up from the ANC rating on the previous Between 3 ANC model. I found that the ANC definitely targets the low end of the frequency spectrum a little bit more than the mids or the highs, which is to be expected, but that makes it great for actually eliminating your lower drone noises, like if you're on a subway or on the car. The transparency mode, or ambient sound mode on these earbuds, whatever you wanna call it, that on the other hand was also pretty solid. Things sounded pretty good and pretty realistic. The transparency mode didn't sound too digital. Some things sound a little muffled at times. My own voice was a little muffled, but they're up there. They sound good. Definitely solid transparency mode that I'm happy with. And in case you wanted to customize that level of transparency mode, you do have the ability of actually controlling how much ambient sound is actually let in. You get 4 levels to choose from, anywhere from low to super at your disposal. So for both of those modes, ANC and transparency, definitely modes that have hit the mark for me on these Pro X and what I can consider to be pretty top level performers. But part of course what makes the ANC and transparency modes possible is of course the microphone system that's built in. Housed within each Pro X earbud are gonna be 3 different microphones for a total of 6 beamforming mics that are gonna use Status's Voice Loom AI system to enhance speech and reduce background noise. But rather than me talking about it, I might as well just give you an example of the kind of microphone quality that you could expect with these babies. So here's a few examples for you. This is the microphone quality of the Status Pro X earbuds. This is raw audio recorded directly from the Pro X earbuds into the voice memos app on my iPhone. So hopefully this gives you a pretty good idea of what to expect. This is the microphone quality of the Status Pro X earbuds with simulated background noise. This is raw audio recorded directly from the Pro X earbuds into the voice memos app on the iPhone. So hopefully this gives you a pretty good idea of what to expect.
This is the microphone quality of the Status Pro X earbuds with simulated wind. This is raw audio recorded directly from the Pro X earbuds into the voice memos app on my iPhone. So hopefully this gives you a pretty good idea of what to expect.
And so as you could hear, the microphone quality is quite impressive. You could barely even hear any kind of background noise or wind in those last two examples there. So if you thought that Status was gonna have to cut some corners with microphone quality here to deliver everything else that they're delivering, not the case. Solid microphone quality here also. But all this really means nothing if the battery life of the Status Pro X earbuds can't keep up. So can it, and how long could you actually expect these buds to last for? Status is promising up to 8 hours of playback on a single charge with ANC turned on, a little bit more than that with ANC turned off, with around 2 additional recharges being stored in the charging case itself, for a total of up to 24 hours of listening time with ANC on. Do keep in mind, however, that if you are using the LDAC audio codec, your times are gonna be a little bit less than that, maybe closer to around 5 hours per charge. And rather surprisingly here, of course, when it comes time to charge up your Pro X earbuds, you just pop them into their charging case, but the charging case itself supports Qi wireless charging despite its smaller size, which is pretty cool to see, in addition to, of course, still offering USB-C wired charging. And the charging of the earbuds themselves, by the way, does seem to be pretty speedy, with what seems like a pretty consistent, maybe around 50% charge taking place in only around 30 minutes, a full charge probably only taking a little over an hour. In general, I'm happy with these battery life numbers, especially when you have 3 drivers being powered here in each earbud, plus LDAC and the slimmer overall profile of the buds themselves. A lot of things to be happy with. But with all this having been said, here are my final thoughts on the Status Pro X earbuds and whether or not Status actually fixed the things they kept getting wrong or not. Simply put, yes. Status 100% nailed it by finally backing up their earbuds here with the Pro X's and their triple driver hardware with the tech that their earbuds have always deserved, all now in a slimmer, more comfortable, and more streamlined package. You finally get LDAC, stronger ANC, better microphone performance, better battery performance, all with the same immersive sound quality that we know the triple driver setup by. So everything that used to hold back the Status earbuds is no longer part of the conversation. And I think it's safe to say that the Pro X are exactly the kind of earbuds upgrade that Status needed, but now without any kind of major compromises. A pair of earbuds that I could definitely confidently say belongs in the conversation when talking about premium earbuds. I like these. As always, for the latest deals, prices, promos, and information for the Status Pro X earbuds, you could of course always head to my affiliate link, bmac.link/ProX, or of course, as always, there will be clickable links in the video description box and in the comment section below, so check those out. With that having been said, it is time to go listen to my new favorite album. Now that this video is done, it could upload, I could go kick back, relax, listen to some tunes. I will see you guys in my next video.